I was just at Awesomeness Fest, and I was like, what? And then my friend's like, you're all here and shit? And I was like, I am not. And he was like, yeah. And there's like, brr. I was like, ah. So I really wouldn't miss it. So here you are, you're like, oh, I wonder if I should go to Awesomeness Fest next year. Well, let's take a look at your options. You could go, or you could stay home and keep watching football or whatever mediocre sport you're watching. Now you're probably watching that going, oh, you're saying football's mediocre. Maybe you don't know something. Well, guess what? It is mediocre because I watch bowling. And this year after Awesomeness Fest, I realized I'm allowed to watch bowling every time I want to. I watch it every Saturday at 3 o'clock with my mom, Bambi. Her name's not Bambi, we just call her that because she's a stripper and her mom was killed by a hunter. But what I do know is that Awesomeness Fest is the only Nis Fest with awesome in the front. So if you're looking for something to do, and there's a lot of things you might want to do, like, oh, I want to wear a hat, or I don't want to wear a hat. Maybe those are your two things. You come to next year's Awesomeness Fest, or this year's if you're watching it, or if you watched it, you've been to Awesomeness Fest in 2012, then this past Awesomeness Fest, get in your time machine, come back and check it out. It was a lot of fun. You had a good time. Or if you haven't, get in, that you'll understand what I mean when you see it. Anyway, my point is I'm really attractive. I'm strong. I go to the gym and I work on my Altoids. They're curiously strong. So I find that Awesomeness Fest, out of everything I've done this year, Awesomeness Fest is in the top 90. Now let me tell you something. It's number 2, but I still am making a top 90. So I'm really excited about that. You're in the top 92, baby.
Really?
You're 7. Oh, so, okay.
It's just amazing. It's the most incredible thing that I've ever experienced in my life, and it's opening the doors to everything else. Except for getting married to my fiance. It'll be the most, it's the second best.
There's better things, but go on, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lisa Nichols at Awesomeness Fest 2011, and I was at Awesomeness Fest 2010 as well, hosted by Mindvalley, one of the premier places on the planet where change agents, entrepreneurs, and people of great consciousness go to relate, relax, release, rejuvenate, and educate themselves. You should join us.
I was doing a thing on Awesomeness Fest. I thought it was pretty good, and then I heard Lisa's. So she did a thing where she did a bunch of R's, so I learned that now. So I want to try a new video. When I go to Awesomeness Fest, I can release, repent, revise, and relinquish, and review, and relish. It's a Canadian relish. I can get all those things to Awesomeness Fest, and you can too. And the only question is, will you? So the answer is yes if you Remington micro screen. Shaves as close as a blade or your money back. A lot of kids get that one. More older people because it's an older commercial. A lot of weird. But as the premier speaker, as the keynote speaker from The Secret, I find that being in The Secret is fun. But nothing's as fun as Awesomeness Fest. It's the only place where you can go to let your hair down. If you have hair, if you can let your hair down, or if you have a hat, you can take it off. But I want you to know, first of all, you can do that at home. You don't need to come here for that. So that's not a good ad. You come out here and see what all these... Suddenly I see, it'll mean so much to me. It's me I see.
If you want to be a winner, hang with the winners. You want to be a transformational agent, hang with the transformational agents on the planet. And they're at Awesomeness Fest. They were there last year. They were there the year before. I was there both times. And they'll be there again this year. The question is, will you?
So if you can miss anything, make sure it's everything except for Awesomeness Fest. So like if your kid's getting born, miss that. If Awesomeness Fest is happening, if your wife's womb is delivering Awesomeness Fest, make sure you don't miss that. Watch her deliver Awesomeness Fest birth. And then you'll come out and you'll go, this is... my wife's giving birth to a catamaran, 2 catamarans, and I can't believe those are in her vagina. I didn't know that. I think she cheated on me. Because you must have cheated on me because my sperm never had Awesomeness Fest in it. So it's like... we looked at the girl I was dating, and it was like, were you having sex with Awesomeness Fest? And she's like, no, not at all. And she'd look down, and I'd look, and there'd be a little luau, a little catamaran, and some coaching. And I'd be like, really? Because this isn't from me. It was from me. I'd have a giant cheek and a microphone. So we broke up. But my point is Awesomeness Fest is the only fest with awesomeness in the front. So if you can't do anything next year, make sure it's a list of things that aren't including Awesomeness Fest, because you will find it's a good move. Lisa Nichols signing out.